Thanks, Robert. The last time I was here was Izzy's big birthday bash. He'd survived the rigours of infamy or something like that till 65, and in a way it doesn't seem right that he's here rather than up there with his bass or kazoo or one of his guitars. Yeah, we're going to miss you. Izzy is one of those blokes where you remember your first impression. And my first meeting of Peter Knox, we were on the interview panel, looking for the next project worker for Life Skills for Blokes. Fantastic program, and we needed a fantastic person, and we had a few really good candidates. In fact, I think it was with his that we called 3 men back for a second interview. Anyway, there's only so much that you can tell reading job applications and seeing how they answered the key selection criteria, reading their resumes, and you're using your head and you're trying to read between the lines, try and work out as much as you can possibly know before they walk into the room. But when they walk into the room, that's a different story. I can well remember my first impressions of Peter Knox. Now, I can't fully remember whether he's wearing a trademark black t-shirt or whether he'd gone slightly more formal for the interview, but I remember the smile on his face. We instantly got the impression that a gentle, gracious, people person had walked into the room, and that was a genuine smile. That Robin, you talked about larrikin, and that was, that's the word I was looking for. I was thinking of him like a uni student, and I know, Pete, that you did uni later on in life, but you reminded me of a teenage uni student who you knew how to behave, but you also had that kind of link where life hadn't knocked out of you yet the sense of fun. Quite a sense of humour. Anyway, we intuitively knew on the panel, we thought this man will relate well to course participants, but also we thought we could picture him just around the table gelling well with the rest of our community, and that was a key reason why we employed him. We value a harmonious, happy place, and Izzy certainly became part of that in a real big way. Towards the end of that interview, he told us he was Izzy for real. I'm guessing that Peter Knox was just a stage name. And as Izzy for real, he contributed in ways that we hadn't anticipated, with bringing his musical talents to outdoor events. And when I got the bad news last Saturday, I was on the phone and my family could tell something was wrong, and my son afterwards asked, who was it? And I said, oh, Peter Knox, you wouldn't know him. I forgot that Peter actually did a drama with Tom during a holiday program. I said, and my wife said, oh, you probably do know him. I went, oh yeah, you probably remember him as Izzy for real. And Tom went, was he the bloke who sung Sticky Grass Pudding? I went, yeah. And he went, oh no. It was, Tom was grief-stricken by that. I'll share some insights from. Oh, by the way, just on Izzy's music, I think Sticky Grass Pudding might have been one of his own, was it? But he also had a repertoire that was well off the beaten track of normal music. And these days, when you hear a song and it catches your attention and you go, oh, I like that, or I'm curious about it, all you need to do is put a few keywords into the internet and it'll come up. You'll get lyrics, you'll get the songwriter, maybe you'll get a clip on YouTube. Not so often with the stuff that Izzy sang. And I'd have to go back to him and ask, that song you sang about such and such, who sang that? And then he'd give me the history. I think some of it was composed by Noah's sons while they were floating around on the ark. But he had some great stuff. I enjoyed listening to it. Now, our manager, Sue, recalls that when she went into Izzy's office to discuss work-related things, goal setting, report writing, they get sidetracked in long conversations about conspiracy theories and save the world kind of solutions. Things like starting a growers co-op to break the power of Coles and Woolies over primary producers, and They also thought up, well, how about we get together a support group for those suffering post-traumatic stress disorder after dealing with Sentinel? Oh, no, we'd be overwhelmed by the influx. We couldn't cope with the numbers. And Sue also described Peter as a bit of a kaleidoscope because there were so many facets to his life. I mean, we saw his musical talent and his work, but he did so many different things and had so many relationships, as your tribute to this morning. I counted more than 50 people just around the outside wall of the hall. I don't know how many people there are here, probably be well over 200. One that Sue shared with me, Life Skills had a graduation at the end of the course. It was a one-term course, and Sue recalled how a young bloke who'd done Life Skills as part of the merit, part of his merit program, really thanked Peter at the graduation for giving him self-understanding and a realisation of responsibility for his own actions and for turning his life around. And afterwards, Sue thanked the young bloke for saying that, and he pointed to Pete and he said, I can assure you without that man I'll be dead. And I have a quote here from Phil Curry, who started the Life Skills. We had a core of men who went through the Life Skills program, enjoyed it, formed Life Skills 2, ran it. And this is a quote from Phil Curry from January last year. Peter does not need his alter ego, Izzy, to take away anything from his enormous commitment and talents in facilitating improved attitudes, awareness, life skills and outcomes for Boambi blokes. His long-standing gig career with Zazov Brothers assists his great style and quality of engagement with the wide range of blokes that come through his Life Skills course. And Pete, I want to thank you for the great contribution you made, and we're going to miss you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. It's just wonderful to hear about this is an incredible contribution to this local community and the men here. I'd like to return to the family now and ask Peter's brother Patrick to say a few words about his brother. Thank you.
Bear with me. I was all right until I saw the coffin. When we were young, I'm talking primary school, there was 4 of us, 4 boys. Me and Peter were the closest in the age group. Me and him got up to the most mischief. Taken off to Bonnyrigg one day and never got back until about 10 o'clock at night. And wonder why Mum had the police out and everything like this. The 4 boys, I can't remember how we got our nicknames when we were very young. Big Brother's was named Rowie Wowie, Pippy Whippy, Pappy Wappy, Stevie Weeby. I don't know who. Ray, how did we get it?
When he was a kid, couldn't get his voice around the name, so that's how close he got.
Well, there you go.
Happy Wappy wasn't too bad.
Just a little
Wowie.
family thing. Just a family, I think, and wives knew about that one. Every now and then we still call each other that. We had a great growing, like in primary school as kids until the end of the 60s and whatever. It was all bush at Genora, a few houses, and we'd just disappear after breakfast at weekends and go down the bush, build cubby houses or forts as we used to call them. we'd burn the bush down every Christmas, whether it needed to or not. Especially Cracker Night, loved it. Let's go. There goes the bush again. Boy, Pippi Whippy and all those. It just seemed like yesterday. Last night I couldn't sleep, and that was going through just all night. You don't expect your brother, who you grew up with, just too quick. And you know, after high school, we all, after Mum died, we all went out each direction, and it's this sort of thing, or a wedding, you know, like we'd catch up every blue moon. I remember going to, I don't know whether it was our wedding or Linda and Stephen's wedding came up. Oh yeah, we knew where Ray is. What about Peter? No worries, looked it up. They're playing the Greystanes in. Off I'd go over, walk in, Peter's on the, you know, the band's playing. I'd walk up in the middle of the dance floor. Oh, there's my brother. Right, at the break he'd come down, I'd write it on the wedding. Right, okay. 6 years' time, one of us got married again. Sefton pub, right, over there. Went up to the dance floor. There's my brother. Another wedding, right, he'd show up, no worries. And that went on for the rest of our life. We only seen each other, you know, yeah, and that's what happens. You know, everybody gets their own life. When you leave home, especially in the 60s and 70s, especially the boys, 4 of us, grog, rock and roll, and women, as every bloke knows. And that's what happened. We just disappeared, and like I said, unless something come up. But yeah, it just seems like yesterday we were all in the backyard burning down the bush. And it just happened so quick. So on behalf of the brothers, the tributes have been fantastic, and I think every one of you's been here. I mean, look at how many people are here. He was loved, and he loved back. A couple of months ago I had the privilege of, we came down home, stayed for a week. So most we've stayed together since Mum was alive. And I got to know my brother again. He got to know me, and we talked about the family, what happened between the 1970s and what happened to now. It was brilliant. And everything, every tribute that people have said is exactly spot on. That's my brother, and I'm very, very proud. I'll miss you, Pippi.
Thank you.